This is Ashley Todorova with Ladies Who Love Christ Radio. I am so excited to be here for our second episode, and I have a good friend and mentor, I would call him, in the studio with me today, Mr. Ed Miller. I'm so excited to tell you a little bit more about a phenomenal book that Ed wrote. I want to let you know that today, as we dive in, we are going to be talking about the importance of financial health to the believer and how important money is in terms of our financial stewardship and how we can be God-honoring in our finances. So the reason I brought Ed in the studio is I want to let you know, like I said in the first episode, Ladies Who Love Christ Ministries, we offer year-round live online Bible studies, many teachings, support, and resources to grow in your walk with Christ. And in January of 2020, we're doing something that we've never done. This is a new thing for us in 3 years of ministry. We are going to be doing our first book study, and we're actually going to be walking through Ed's book, Making Sense of Your Money. Ed is an amazing person who has lived an incredible life. He's married. I know his beautiful wife. Love her dearly, Kathy. 2 beautiful girls, an absolutely precious granddaughter and newborn grandson. But Ed is pretty exceptional. He was able to, using the principles that he wrote about in his book, he was able to retire completely debt-free, which is incredible, at 55, completely debt-free. And, my goal for this show is not for you to get caught up in comparison. No matter where you're at, maybe you're in a place where you feel so upside down, you don't know where to begin, you don't know what steps to take. We're going to talk today. I'm going to speak with Ed and get a lot of his knowledge and encouragement for you in terms of where to begin and that it is possible. So kicking off January 20th in Ladies Who Love Christ Ministries, you can find us at Facebook, Ladies Who Love Christ Bible Study Ministry. We are going to be walking through Ed's book, Making Sense of Your Money, and the study guide that he wrote to accompany this material. And I'm really, in particular, I'm excited about it because it's going to be 6 weeks, 6 steps, 6 things that you can do to really start to reclaim your financial health, but more than anything, to get to a place where you are able to have that freedom and just be able to be God-honoring with your finances. And that is the mission of Ladies Who Love Christ. We're going to talk about some tough subjects. We're going to come together and talk about some tough things. But my goal and my hope and what I believe the Lord has put in my heart is for us to address the issues that really can cripple us in our walk with Christ, okay? So without further ado, I would love to introduce my friend, Mr. Ed Miller, author of Making Sense of Your Money and the accompanying study guide. So welcome, Ed. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you, Ashley. I'm very happy to be here.
Good. So tell us a little bit about your story, just a brief little bit about you. And you retired completely debt-free. That's amazing. At 55. I know I read in your bio that you said your mom and dad were a big part of, when you were growing up, raising you. Tell us a little bit about you and how this book came about.
I grew up in a small town in South Carolina. I'm the youngest of 7 children, so there was not opportunity for much waste. And growing up in South Carolina, we'd never used credit cards. My parents paid everything by cash. If it meant I was walking downtown to pay the water bill, it was cash. If I were going to pay the electric bill, it was cash. So I had no exposure to credit cards, and we paid as we went. Wow. Hopefully, by listening to this, others will realize that it is possible to do that. And it was because of their example, I really never had a credit card till I was like 26 years old.
Wow, that's amazing. So how did the book come about in terms of you were raised with this, it seems like this knowledge just sort of ingrained in you. How did the book itself come about? How did your passion for writing about this issue come about? Tell us a little bit more about that.
In all honesty, Ashley, initially I did not want to write this book. To be honest with you, I did not want to write this book. I had several of my friends tell me over the years, Ed, you should write about what you and Kathy has been able to accomplish. having put both of your girls through the University of Georgia without student loans, having retired at age 55 debt-free. And I just shrugged it off. I'm like, a book is not in me. I remember a particular Sunday, I was at home after church reading my newspaper, and my best friend called just to chat. In the course of the conversation, he said to me, "When are you going to write the book?" And I'm like, "I'm not writing the book. See you later. Got to go." Clunk. As I sat back on the couch to read my AJC, it was like the Holy Spirit said, "Get up." I got up. I went upstairs to my office, grabbed a piece of paper out of my printer, and jotted down 9 subjects if I were going to write about a book. And I said, "Okay, Lord, if this is the book that supposed to be written, you're going to have to be the guide here."
Yep.
And literally that paper sat for probably, this was like the fall of 2015. It sat to like January.
Wow.
So January 2016, in earnest, I started writing the book, and it was published September 4th, 2016.
Wow.
So it was an act of obedience. I initially did not want to do this.
And isn't that amazing how the Lord calls us to do things? That's what I love. That's why I asked you to be in the studio, because he calls us sometimes to do things that seem so much larger than ourselves, but he works through it. That is incredible. That's incredible. So I would love to ask you today, in just for some insight and encouragement for our listeners, why is it vital in the life of a believer to practice biblical financial stewardship? I think that's a really important question for people.
I think practicing financial stewardship is an act of obedience. We are called to be good stewards of what God has entrusted us with. Yep. When we handle what he's entrusted us with, it shows our gratitude, our thankfulness, and our faithfulness.
Absolutely. Now, the word talks a lot about money, too. A lot.
Yes, a lot.
Which is, tell us a little bit, speaking about that, you've actually taught this course at Piedmont Church. Ed is also an elder at Piedmont Church. You've taught this course there too as well, correct?
Yes.
Awesome.
Previous to teaching with my curriculum, Making Sense of Your Money, I started facilitating the Debt Freedom course at Piedmont since 2013.
Wow.
And then after having written the book in 2016, the study guide came about almost the same way, not wanting to do it. And I said, "Okay, Lord, this time I'm not going to push too hard. I'm just going to sit and do it." So in July of 2016, I set aside that entire month, and I wrote the study guide.
Incredible.
And this fall was the first time I facilitated the Debt Freedom courses using all of my materials.
Wow, that's awesome. And that must have felt great, didn't it?
Absolutely.
So I just love your story, how this all kind of came about in January of 2016, and the Lord started Ladies Who Love Christ Ministries in December of 2016. And we were not even thinking this at that time. So it's pretty incredible how the Lord works. And I just want to encourage your heart today, ladies, that this is not about making you feel bad. I have been in every phase of the financial journey. And I want you to understand that there is hope, that there is always something that you can do to improve different areas of your life for Jesus Christ. So I want you, as you go into this, to understand our heart behind this is to just help you and encourage you to look at things from perhaps a fresh and different perspective. So I'm so excited because we are doing, like I said, something we've never done in Ladies Who Love Christ Ministries. We are actually going to have Ed himself teaching the 6-week course. Normally myself and our beautiful leaders, Sarah, and some of the other ladies, they're the ones that teach the studies, or I teach them. But this time we're actually going to have you live and online teaching Making Sense of Your Money in Ladies Who Love Christ. And I want to just use this as an opportunity. Make sure all of our classes, all of our online courses at this time are done on Facebook. So you can just simply look in the search bar and look up Ladies Who Love Christ Bible Study Ministry, request to join. We are going to be kicking off Making Sense of Your Money on Monday, January 20th. And I just want to take a moment to let you know, I know there's some women out there that are like, "Oh, I can't make that time." The wonderful thing about our studies being online is that we actually archive them, and all of our studies are available for playback. So if you are not able to make it on January 20th, you can jump in anytime after that teaching has ended, and you can catch the replay. Just order your materials. We're going to tell you how to do that later in the show. and you can jump in at any time that works for your schedule. But this course will be running through the end of February. The live sessions, if you want to be able to converse or ask questions live with Ed, you'll want to be there at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday nights. Again, that kicks off January 20th. So I am just really excited. I can't wait to come back after the break and talk to you a little bit more about your book and some thoughts that you have for these women and to encourage them. But I'm so grateful for your time, Ed. I'm so grateful for what you're doing. And I can't wait to come back after the break. You guys, I want to thank AnyPest. AnyPest is an amazing, amazing Christian family and family-owned business. They are dear friends, and they have blessed this ministry tremendously. So thank you to AnyPest, our official ministry sponsor. We'll see you after the break. Hi, everyone. This is Ashley Pope-Todorova with Ladies Who Love Christ Radio, and I'm so glad to be back here with you with my good friend Ed Miller, and author of Making Sense of Your Money. Ed actually published this phenomenal book and 6-week study that we're going to be walking through live and online in Ladies Who Love Christ Ministries. And so we are just talking to Ed about some of his knowledge in terms of honoring God with your finances and his journey. And Ed, I wanted to ask you, over the course of this 6-week study, let's say that we have a lady who loves Christ and she wants to dive in. What can she expect to accomplish over the 6 weeks?
Actually, over the course of the 6 weeks, they can expect to get a solid foundation and a plan on achieving financial goals and financial freedom if they will follow the plan. Perfect. Some of the things that they can expect is to get a sense of the importance of having a stepwise approach to financial freedom. Also, the importance of having an emergency fund. Yes. Continuing financial literacy and investing. It's not a one-time thing. This course is foundational, but the learning has to continue over years and continue to build on what you've learned. Myself, I've been a subscriber to Money Magazine over 20 years, and I'm always picking up something new when that monthly subscription come in that I hadn't known before. Additionally, they can understand the importance of why they should have a good FICO score. Your credit score is very important. Not only will you get credit, but it determines how much you will pay for that credit if your score is not up to par. They can expect to learn about how to create an effective budget. We have to start somewhere. Every dollar has to have an address, is what I tell people when I teach this course.
I like that.
Nothing hangs out loosely. Every dollar has to have an address, as well as mortgages, what to expect, the different types of mortgages, things to be aware of, and the insurances that you need and why you need them. As well as buying versus leasing, and we're speaking of cars here, and then wrapping up, staying the course. How do you finish successfully?
Wonderful. Man, that's going to be a lot of ground to cover. Ladies, if you want to dive in and do this course with us, it's going to kick off in Ladies Who Love Christ Bible Study Ministry. You find us on Facebook. That sounds amazing. I'm so excited. I'm actually going to be participating in this course myself with Alex, all of our leaders. Sarah Blount, she's going to be participating. We're just really excited to dive in. So the next question I want to ask you is, let's say that somebody is just in this place of feeling like they're upside down in debt, they're up to their ears in debt. Do you have any words of hope or anything that you can encourage them with, any scriptures to just help them see that there is a way out?
You know, I say this to people, and I hope it doesn't sound cliches. I have them recognize that you didn't get there overnight.
Right.
And you're not going to get out of debt overnight. It is a process.
Right.
But it's important for you to do it right. You have to be intentional and systematic, taking one step at a time to get out of financial crisis. Take time to get it right, is what I tell people, because it is an investment into your future.
Absolutely.
And Proverbs 10:4 states that, "Poor is he who works with a negligent hand, but the hand of the diligent makes rich." And what that means is we have to persevere. We have to keep at it.
Yes.
So I say to people, listen, I have been there.
Yes.
I have been there. I've had a credit card bill of $1,500, and I wonder how I was going to pay it. But I worked through the process, and I learned from that mistake, and now I'm paying as I go.
Well, that's incredible and that's exciting. There's always hope. There's always hope. So I'm just looking forward to having you teach this course in Ladies Who Love Christ Bible Study Ministry. So are there any other things that you'd like to mention or touch on with our listeners today?
I always encourage people and tell them, regardless of where they are, it is never too late to get financially fit.
Perfect.
We will make sure that we are physically fit most of the time and emotionally healthy, yet we will allow our finances to die a slow death, which adversely affects our future. So I encourage people to always make good choices, because the choices that we make today will definitely determine how we live in the future. It was those choices that Kathy and I made 30 years ago, one of them being that we would live off one salary, which affords us to live as we do today. So it's really about making good choices and never feeling so overwhelmed that they will not start the process to financial fitness.
Wonderful. And I can appreciate that with Alex and I running A&D Wellness and helping people achieve their healthy lifestyle goals. Alex and I have set some strong financial goals ourselves. And I always say, I know if we need it, there's somebody else out there who needs it. So that's really exciting. You guys, if you are interested in participating in this 6-week course, all you have to do is order your materials. You would do that at www.debtfree55, that's 55, debtfree55.com. That's where you can actually get the materials for this study. And then find us on Facebook, Ladies Who Love Christ Bible Study Ministry. And then our website is ladieswholovechrist.com. If you have any questions at all, you reach out to me. I will help to plug you in. Ladies Who Love Christ is a community of women literally all over the world, 40 countries and counting. And we all are trying to grow in intimacy with Jesus Christ. We all want to improve different areas of our life. So we definitely want to have you there for that. Ed, before we wrap this up, I want to ask you, what are some of your favorite scriptures in terms of just anything that could bring encouragement to these ladies? Do you have any scriptures or anything that you mentioned Proverbs earlier?
Yes. One of my favorite, and it's not directly related to finances, but you can make the transition, and it is Hebrews 12:1. It states, "Therefore, since we have so great a cloud of witnesses surrounding us, let us lay aside every encumbrance and the sin which so easily entangles us, and let us run with endurance the race set before us." An encumbrance is anything that hinders you from doing what you feel God has called you to do. And so often debt can be an encumbrance to us doing the things that he would call us to do. I know for Kathy and I, we have been privileged to do the Brazil mission trip since 2016. Had we not made those choices about how we would handle our finances, we would not have been able to afford to do the mission trip.
Right.
Although we feel called to Brazil.
Right.
That's one of the ones that I really think about, and I help people to walk through and unpack.
I really like that, and I like that you said that, because our goal in this radio show, our goal throughout this 13 weeks is going to be just that, to refine and improve our lives so that we can open up more of ourselves to really build intimacy with Christ, to strengthen our relationship with him, and to really do, like you said with that mission trip, what he has called us to do. I have a burning desire in my heart for that. So I just want to thank you for being in the studio today. And I enjoyed it. I'm excited to kick off the study again. Go to ladieswholovechrist.com. I will have a post up with information about this. If you'd like to look at the book or learn more about it, you can go to debtfree55.com. And I'm so excited. Our next show, our next episode is going to have my mentor, my dear friend, Pastor Ike Reichard. He is the CEO and president of Ministries here in Atlanta. He's also our pastor. Ed is an elder at Piedmont Church. He is our pastor, too, of Piedmont Church in Marietta. And Pastor Ike and I are going to sit down and we're going to talk about what it looks like to have a heart of compassion. What does that look like in our day and our time? So I hope that you will tune in to episode 3 of Having a Heart of Compassion with Pastor Ike. And future episodes, we're going to have my dear friend, and she has served alongside me in ministry, for 2 years. In fact, she and I served alongside each other for 1.5 years before we ever met. Her name is Sarah Blount. She is definitely one of my dearest, sweetest friends. I'm going to be interviewing her on the radio as well. We're going to talk a little bit about what it looks like to do ministry. And I'm just glad you guys are here. Before I end this, again, I will tell you time and time and time again, there is nothing more important that you'll ever do than building intimacy with Jesus Christ, getting serious about your walk with Jesus. Open the Word every single day. Get out your notepad. Get that fervor and that hunger inside you to grow in His Word. These things that we're going to be walking through, I always say this in the group, conviction is not from me. Okay, if you're feeling any conviction, that's an opportunity to listen up, to tune your heart and your ears to what it is Jesus is trying to tell you. But I want you to get excited about your walk with Christ and refining these areas of your life so that you can open yourself up to do what He's called you to do, because He's given us all a mission, and we're in a dry and parched world that so greatly needs it. So, Ed, thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you guys on future episodes. And again, go to ladieswholovechrist.com or debtfree55, that's the number 55.com, to check out Ed's book, Making Sense of Your Money. You guys have a great evening.